How Salmonella works. Ever wondered how Salmonella can grow in your intestines and cause illness when other bacteria can't? New research by the University of California, Davis Health has revealed a key piece of the puzzle and inspired me to find out more. Now, just before we jump in, I'm going to use the word salmonella, that's the singular, and salmonella, the plural, in a not exactly scientifically correct way in this article, and that's just for the purposes of readability and listenability. Sorry, not sorry. What is Salmonella? Salmonella is a genus of bacteria that includes numerous species and subspecies. The two species, technically referred to as serovars, most commonly associated with human gastrointestinal illness, belong to the species Salmonella enterica, which is further divided into multiple subspecies and serovars based on their specific antigenic properties. They are Salmonella enterica serovar enteriditis, and we often just call that Salmonella enteriditis, and Salmonella enterica serovar typhimurium, and we often just call that one Salmonella typhimurium. Other serovars of Salmonella enterica, typhi and paratyphi, cause typhoid fever and paratyphoid fever, which are severe systemic illnesses with prolonged symptoms and life-threatening complications. Typhoid and paratyphoid fever most commonly occur in developing countries with inadequate sanitation. For the remainder of this post, I'll be talking only about non-typhoidal salmonella, which is more commonly associated with foodborne gastroenteritis. Salmonella bacteria are typically found in the intestines of animals and humans. They can spread through contaminated food, water, surfaces, or by direct contact with infected individuals or animals. Salmonella causes the third largest number of cases of foodborne illness globally after norovirus and Campylobacter. There are approximately 1.3 million illnesses and 420 deaths from non-typhoidal salmonella annually in the United States. In Europe, there were 666,000 confirmed cases and 81 fatalities in 2022. How does salmonella cause illness? Salmonella causes illness by invading and colonizing the gastrointestinal system, including the small and large intestines. Here's how we think it works. 1. Ingestion. The patient consumes food contaminated with salmonella. Common culprits include raw or undercooked meat, poultry and eggs, unpasteurized milk and unpasteurized other dairy products, and raw fruit and vegetables. 2. Invasion. Salmonella survives its journey through the stomach by using enzymes that consume protons through decarboxylation reactions that keep the pH inside its cells constant. It is thought to also have cellular systems that can actively repair cell membrane damage caused by acid exposure. It's also been hypothesized that low-moisture, high-fat foods such as caramels and peanut butter have a protective effect, preventing stomach acid from coming into contact with salmonella cells and thereby assisting them to reach the small intestine unharmed. 3. Colonization. Once past the stomach and inside the small intestine, the bacteria adhere to the lining of the intestinal wall to begin the process of colonization. Salmonella have a flagella, that's tails, that are thought to help the bacteria penetrate the mucus layer inside the gastrointestinal tract to allow it to attach to epithelial or gut cells. Other foodborne pathogens that also colonize the gastrointestinal tract include pathogenic Escherichia coli and Campylobacter jejuni. By comparison, Clostridium botulinum and Staphylococcus aureus are foodborne pathogens that don't colonize the gut but cause illness by producing toxins in food, with the toxins causing the illnesses rather than the bacteria themselves. Research published last week reveals that salmonella can also evade the defenses of the good gut bacteria, which produce short-chain fatty acids that suppress the growth of pathogens. In the small intestine, salmonella causes inflammation which disrupts the normal absorption of amino acids from food, changing the balance of nutrients in the gut. The result is more of the amino acids lysine and ornithine in the gut, conditions which favour Salmonella, allowing it to survive the defence of the good bacteria, so it can multiply in the large intestine, which is its primary site of replication. And the large intestine is also called the colon. Salmonella can survive being engulfed by immune cells called macrophages by hiding within a membrane-enclosed vacuole or compartment. While safely inside the macrophages, the Salmonella cells can't be detected or destroyed by other immune cells, such as bacteria killing neutrophils. 4. Replication. Inside the gut cells, Salmonella multiplies, causing damage to the intestinal lining, leading to symptoms like diarrhea and abdominal pain. Symptoms of Salmonella infection. Most Salmonella infections cause a condition known as salmonellosis, with symptoms appearing 6 to 72 hours after exposure. These include diarrhea, abdominal pain, fever, nausea and vomiting, and headache. In healthy individuals, symptoms usually resolve within 4 to 7 days. However, severe cases can occur, particularly in young children, older adults, or immunocompromised individuals, where the infection can spread to the bloodstream or other parts of the body. Serious side effects and complications from Salmonella infections. Although many people recover from a typical Salmonella infection without long-term effects, some individuals can experience ongoing symptoms. Reactive arthritis, Reiter's syndrome, can develop post-salmonellosis. This occurs when the infection triggers inflammation in joints such as knees, ankles, and feet. It usually resolves within a year. Salmonellosis is thought to be a risk factor for irritable bowel syndrome and dyspepsia, with people who experience prolonged symptoms during an outbreak of Salmonella enteritis more likely to develop IBS in the year afterwards compared to a matched control group. Invasive Salmonella infection affects about 8% of people who've had a confirmed case of salmonellosis. Invasive infections can cause meningitis, osteomyelitis, and septic arthritis, which can be life-threatening. While recovery from serious Salmonella-induced illnesses like those mentioned above can take months or years, a typical case of salmonellosis is self-limiting and usually clears within 7 days. The body's defences eventually defeat the bacteria and healing systems work to repair the damaged gut lining. As the lining repairs, inflammation reduces and symptoms such as fever and pain subside. Antibiotics are used to treat severe cases of salmonellosis. Final thoughts. As food safety professionals, we spend a lot of time trying to prevent bacteria like Salmonella from getting into our food. However, we rarely take the time to learn about why certain bacteria are pathogenic while others do us no harm. Salmonella has a suite of special characteristics that help it get through our stomachs to our intestines, where it can colonize cells and cause unpleasant symptoms, sometimes leading to more serious complications. Fortunately, most infections are self-limiting. And you can read more about Salmonella, including how does Salmonella get into seafood, in previous issues of this newsletter. And you'll find a link to that in the newsletter and the post.